Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode. And also, PPW fans, I would like to welcome you to PPW Week. I'm Joe Panther the Third, and man, this week is going to be an absolute fire. This week is the anniversary week for the promotion in Pennsylvania, PPW Week. Man. And why not start PPW Week off with a bang? Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to my friend and yours, Paul Bowe. Welcome, Paul. Can you hear me? Paul Bowe. Welcome back to Dudes at Ringside, Paul. So, man, Paul, are you excited for the anniversary show of PPW? Are you excited? Can you hear me, Paul? Can you hear me?
At all.
Well, hold on. Hey, Paul, man, welcome back to Dudes at Ringside. How excited are you for the anniversary show, Paul? Oh my gosh.
It's going to be great. I can't believe, Joe, thanks for having me. Great to be back again. Your partner, Sabrina's not here today. I saw her on Saturday night, but she's not here. Work calls, I guess. But hey, we're really excited for that anniversary show. Like I said, 10 years, my partner and I, Tony McKeegan, and it's hard to believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah, like the last time you saw me, it was the 100th show. Like, man, that was like my very first PPW show I ever attended, and you got me. I'm hooked. I have been telling wrestlers from as far as England to Scotland to go on Fight TV and tune in and watch you guys fight and compete. And they said they've been trying to watch. So, like, you guys got some fans in England now, man. Like, yeah. So,
yeah,
like,
we get a lot of messages from people all over that are looking to get on, and we get quite a few messages from overseas, and people coming in doing some tours, and if one of our shows happens to hit when they're there, we'll be happy to give them a look.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know of that I've had in the podcast that they've been dying to work with you guys. So like, what is it like to work like behind the scenes in a promotion like PPW leading up to like an anniversary show?
It's chaos. It really is. I mean, there's a lot that has to get done, from Steven Diaz does our posters, who does a great job. You just saw the one that was just released for the anniversary show. So he is our poster guy. Sean Kramar's John, Ringside Johnny, they handle all the video. And then I have myself and EJ, to do the commentary. Joe Davis or Justin will fill in once in a while. And then my partner, Tony, he books a lot of the wrestlers and handles most of the indie stuff and does the cards, and, it's booking flights and getting tickets made. And, Tom Mitchell, he handles the website still. So I do all the tickets, but, he handles all the nuts and bolts and that. Scott Fineout, one of our partners that we used to have, that was with us and he left. He got a farm and he's a farmer now. So, but he designed our whole website. So, without that website and all that he did on that website, he kind of took Mitch under his wing and taught him how to use that website and update stuff. And our website is really nice, and Scott deserves all the credit on that because he built it. I know enough to add products and do emails. That's about it. But Mitch handles everything else. And, we have some people that write articles. Joe Davis writes some articles. Brian Barecki, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. BP Burke, we'll just call him. He writes some really good articles. We have a really good one coming out about Brian Johnson. So there's a lot of people involved. And then I can't forget our foreman, John Martinsky. He's racing right now. So racing's almost over, but Without him, setup wouldn't happen because he does the locker room curtain that you see, and he set up the whole design for everything. And he does a lot with hanging posters up in the area and stuff like that, looking for sponsors. So there's a lot of people that are involved, and the more you have, the easier things become, because all of us have jobs that we do during the day, so time is limited.
Like, yeah, as you said, it's really tough because with it's like a big show, like an anniversary show. So what are like some of your fondest memories from like the past PPW shows that you've been to, like roster wise, like match wise? Like, what was like your most memorable moment?
Well, I mean, we've had AJ Styles twice. We've had Mick Foley. We've had a lot of different names that have come through there. And then the best thing I think that, for us is to see one of our guys gets on TV. Like, an Action Andretti, he was trained at MCW. He came to us and we were kind of like his home in Pennsylvania. And to see him get signed by AEW, that, helps the roster out a lot to think, hey, listen, he got signed, so can we. And to see like, Facade on TV or Danny Moe, they've been on AEW numerous times. Clutch Adams was on AEW. Brian Johnson, our champ, I mean, he was on Ring of Honor for years. So like, the pedigree there for these guys. Dan Champion was on TV. Havoc wrestled in Japan. He's been wrestling a long, long time. And then a lot of guys, that get to do some extra work on WWE. Joey Martinez does some. The South Philly guys have done some before in the past, and it's great to see that. And it seems like they all remember their experiences here at PPW.
Yeah, like it's so crazy to think that like that day that I had you on the podcast back in the day, you were like, you got to come to a show. And I was trying. And me and my dad finally looked and I said, I can go to the 100 show. I'm off on a Saturday. And man, Paul, you guys got me. It's like that show, it went so fast. I was like, oh my gosh. My favorite moment had to have been from the 100 show. I had the tag team champions on the podcast and the television, the TV champion? I had all three champions on the podcast. I'm like, usually dudes at Ringside, we're good. We have champions. We'll bring the champions. Every title went. And I thought the tag team champions were going to rip me over the barricade and give me their finisher right there on the floor. I thought I was over.
That was a hardcore match. That was a street fight, right?
Yeah. I thought I was about to get hit.
This month.
Yeah.
Joe, this month it is a dumpster match.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for that match.
So we will wheel the dumpster in, and whoever goes in the dumpster first obviously loses. So that's going to be said. We have a bunch of different matches. We got a ladder match coming up. We just announced that, I believe, today. We did not announce this match yet, so I'll give you a little bit of a thing. Clutch Adams and Alec Odin, they just signed a contract last month at our PPW Badlands show. That's going to be 2 out of 3 falls. And it's possible. I can't speak of Alec Odin. He just liked their poster. It's very possible we may have a special guest referee for that match. Not 100% sure, but we're working on it. If not, it'll be 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. And then, we got to really, really, and not to just, I just want to give some shout outs there to the Slatington Expo Center there. I mean, they were very accommodating, to have us there. Amy Jo's the manager there. Super girl. She'll do anything you need her to do. She's there. They're great. Chris White, he's one of the owners, and you can't ask for a better owner, along with his 2 partners who I did meet. Super nice guys, but Chris is kind of the hands-on guy. He loves wrestling. They feed the wrestlers in the back. These guys are treated like kings there. I mean, they really go above and beyond what they have to do to accommodate everybody. And they're so like, I'll get a message, hey, do you need anything? If you need anything, just give a holler. And that's how they are, everybody there. really like to have us, and everybody really does well. There's food stands outside, there's a bar outside. Everybody gets the crowd from PPW, and it's nice to see. So it's really, we're still changing the venue up a little bit. We have lights now that are permanently mounted on the ceiling, ring lights on all four sides, so it kind of makes it a little different. And John and Sean do their magic with the video, and we are on the Premier Streaming Network now. So we just signed on with them. So every one of our events, if you can't go, Joe, they're on pay-per-view. You sign up, it's $10 a month, I believe, and you can watch it anytime you want.
It's funny when I was telling
so that's
my
always
mom, it's funny it was funny, Paul. When leading up to the 100th show, I kept telling my mom, if you have Fight TV, you can watch it on pay-per-view. Mama Panther was refusing to call it pay-per-view. She's like, it's not pay-per-view. It's not Mom, it's a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view. She did not want to call it a pay-per-view. It was hilarious. I was like, Papa Panther was like, Patty, I think Joe knows what he was talking about. He's watched this since he was a child. No, it's not a pay-per-view. I was like, the fight in the Panther house that morning was not a pay-per-view.
It was over the pay-per-view.
It's a pay-per-view.
But yeah, it's been working out really well. Like I said, it's nice because we have a lot of people that live out of state, or sometimes just can't get there, and they'll watch it. Our numbers are really good on that Premier Streaming Network. We've been really fortunate. We've been with them since I think June was our first show with them. But we're really it might have been the 100th show. The 100th show, I believe, was the first show with them. But it's been really good. It's been steadily increasing every month as we go up, and that's what we're looking to do.
That's the most important thing. You guys are really setting the bar for a lot of Pennsylvania promotions to show what you guys could do here in Pennsylvania. And that's hard these days. There's a lot of promotions that I know. I went to a promotion with my dad because somebody told me, here, I got tickets, Joe, you should check it out. And I came, and it was a smaller promotion done in a gym, a dance hall. And then the next show with my dad, we went to your show. My dad's like, wow, this is a big upgrade. It's like going to a WWE show. Jeez. And I was like, yeah, Dad, this is like the big leagues right here, PPW. This is not
I mean, like a lot of these smaller venues. I mean, there's a lot of really good promotions in Pennsylvania, but there is some smaller ones that are just starting out. But I mean, it's growing pains. When we started our first show, we ran it in a roller skating rink. I mean, and we had over 300 people jammed into a roller skating ring because our first show got shut down by the fire marshal the night before. The building wasn't zoned. It was a disaster. That was our very first show 10 years ago.
Wow.
So, we've come a long way. So, and then you have to get all your ducks in a row. Everything has to be registered with the state. You have to have your insurances. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. So anybody starting out, trying to start a promotion, it's not easy, and the biggest thing is, I try to help a couple other promotions that I would do some work for announcing. The biggest thing is to get the people engaged. You got to get your fans. When you get your core fans, whether it's 100, 150, 200, or 50, whatever, they're going to be there every month, and you build from there, and you try to get new fans. And that's exactly what we do. We try to make it, family friendly, affordable is the biggest thing. But again, there's bills that have to be paid. So, we want everybody to have a good time. So when the fans leave happy, they're going to come back. If somebody has a bad experience, they have my email. They have Tony's email. Some of them even have my cell phone number. I'll get calls. If something's wrong, we'll try to make it right. And that's the way we approach it.
Yeah, that's important that the way you are, Paul, you're very one-on-one. Because when I was at the show, I saw you, I walked over, we talked for a tiny bit, and then I let you go back to what you're doing because I know that
I'm not a good person show day to deal with.
Yeah, I got nervous.
Yeah.
You
show day, everybody says I'm a different person.
Yeah, I got nervous walking up to you because I knew that you were busy. It was before the show, and you were talking to the wrestlers, and I was like, I just wanted to say hi and talk to you for a few seconds, but
Sure.
It's good. So like, man, there's like one match that has been like boggling my brain since I saw the pictures on the Instagram page. The ladder match. The ladder match that's happening that night. My gosh, like, are you guys gonna have like a chain on the ceiling with like the belt on there, or is
Yep,
it gonna
that's how
be
we did it last time. I think it's actually still up there. I think we still have the hook that's up there from when we did the briefcase match. So yeah, it'll be up there. We have a really big ladder. We have a couple ladders. It'll be interesting because Nolan is only like 19 years old. He's young, so I don't think he's ever done a ladder match. So that should be interesting. Dio probably has, but it should be interesting. I think the advantage though for that is Dio. He's taller. But Nolan's a champ, so champion's advantage. We'll see who grabs that belt first, and it should be a good match. Nolan's a great kid. I mean, he's been training with us. Like he's been with us since he's probably 15 years old. He was
Oh wow.
when we had our school back in Hazen. He was only 15. He came in, and his wanted to come in and bounce around, and yeah, he's been with us since 15. And just to see him grow into the kid, the young man he is now. I mean, he goes to school in Connecticut. So, I mean, he comes in for the show once a month, but a great kid. And like I said, we have a really good roster as far as people that are approachable. Most of our guys you can talk to anytime, and like I said, to come on your podcast, you tell me anybody you want on, I'll get them on there for you. At least, try to help you to get them on there. But most of them will come on.
Yeah.
They're really good with doing PR stuff for us.
I
think that's important.
Yeah. I've been talking to Danny Moe and Facade for like months, and I sent her a birthday sticker, a card with a birthday, and she sent me back a sticker, and she said thank you to me, and she's like, we got to work on a date. I'm so thankful you sent me a birthday sticker. Dude, it's a Ringside sticker for my birthday, and I was like, I'm not getting anything back. I'm just gonna get a message on Instagram. No, she sent me a card that said thank you. So it's like Danny Moe is a sweetheart.
Yeah, they're hard. They're hard to ravel in because they're on the road constantly. We were talking last show. She said they put like 65,000 miles on their car last year or something.
Oh,
I mean, they live in Pittsburgh. They're out by Pittsburgh. Yeah, so they're far away, but they're constantly on the road. So the probably best day to get them is probably a Monday or Tuesday. Because by Wednesday they're usually back out on the road for usually a show Thursday. Through Sunday. So
yeah, they're absolutely, they're like good people. I always good, like, and it's funny. I met them for the first time at a promotion in New Jersey. It was like a con that I went to with my sister, and I hear the announcer go, and I hear like a really familiar song from an '80s movie that I'm not going to say because I don't want to get copyright strike. And I'm like, why do I know this song? Why is my child with me dancing like a maniac, like a hammer dance? And then I hear the announcer go, and coming down the aisle with Facade, the neon balloons. I'm like, no, that's not. And look in the ring, there's Danny going. I'm like, oh my God, Danny Moe, Facade, they're here. And then like, they're doing something. I woke up to say hi. Danny's like, wow, it's Joe. And Facade's like, hi, dude, what's up, man? And I was like, yeah, dude. He signed my post. Like we talked, took a picture, and then I went home again. Yeah.
Yeah, I met them probably, oh my God, it has to be 15 years ago. I met Mike and Danny somewhere. I don't even remember where I met them, but we always hit it off from the beginning. And I said, once we started PPW, they were wanting to, we wanted to get them on the show, and, we worked it out, and they always, came out, made the trip across the state to come out with us, and they became, part of our permanent roster. So really good people there. Like I said, as most of the people are on our roster, we have really, really a good roster with good quality people, and that's important.
Yeah,
I'll probably say that 100 times on here, but it's the truth. Yeah,
like that's important to have a roster that's like, Paul. That's really important to have a roster that you connect with. They're not just there and they're like, oh, I'm here for a show. They're excited to be there. That's the best part of it. You know what I mean, Paul? Like, they don't just come in with their bags and their merch buckets and they're like, hey guys, I'm here for another show. Well, they want to be there. They like the crowd.
I mean, We've had people come in for one or two shows that, wanted to get on the roster, and things just didn't work out. It just wasn't their type of locker room, or they didn't mesh with our guys, and like, it is what it is. Like I said, we get our mailbox every day has a few messages. Hey, how can I get on? What can I do to get on? Well, you live in North Carolina. We can't fly you up. You know what I mean? You're an indie guy. We're not flying you up. You want to drive up, and we have but we have very few openings. Like, this anniversary show is going to be really tight, as far as match wise. We might even put an extra match on, maybe a dark match, just to get some of our guys on the show, because we don't have there's a lot of every title's on the line. And we like to do one-on-one matches a lot, but sometimes you have to do a 4-way or a 5-way or whatever. But I mean, we have such a big roster. We want to try to get everybody on the show, so without doing like a battle royal or something like that. But, it's going to be tough to fit everybody in, but we'll make it work.
Yeah. So is there any other matches you want to talk about today, before we go, or?
Well, what we have set so far, let me look at my phone here, what we have set so far, what we have announced so far.
Yes.
Let me see here. We have Brian Johnson versus Adrian Soriano. That's the main event. That's for the belt. That's for the title.
Exciting.
Soriano, he won the Rumble at the 100 show. You were there for that one. So he gets his title shot at Johnson. Last month, there was a tag team match, and Johnson and it was Johnson and Dio versus Nolan and Soriano. Soriano and Nolan won, setting up the match. It's a straight-up match. Primal Fear versus Team Big. That's for the belts. That is going to be the dumpster match. Primal Fear won their match last month. They got to pick the stipulation. So it's going to be, I believe Gabe's exact words were, he told them they're a bunch of trash, so we're going to have a dumpster match in the trash. And then we have the ladder match, Nolan Pierce versus Dio for the ladder match. And we have Clutch and Odin, which is not announced yet, but it will be announced tomorrow. And that'll be 2 out of 3 falls. So they're the 1, 2. That's the 4 matches we have. We have our women's champion, Lynette Dollars. She just won the belt last month. The girls' match will probably be a 4-way, and it'll probably be Lynette versus Danny Moe versus Miranda versus Leva Bates. That's probably what we're looking at there.
Whatever happened to
also Jordan Oliver's here with us. Zeta won't be able to make the next 3 shows. She actually has a great opportunity right now that she could not pass up. So she's pretty close to getting signed. And maybe by the time this thing airs, she'll be signed and you'll be seeing her on TV. So
fingers crossed.
That's our goal. We don't want to hold anybody back. So Zeta will not be there for the next couple of months. But we wish her luck, and that's what it's all about. I mean, we're not going to hold anybody back.
I met her.
Jordan Oliver will be in action. Yep. Jordan Oliver's back for PPW. He hasn't been here in a while. Game Changer Wrestling. Who else do we have on the card? We have Miles Hawkins on the card. Griffin McCoy. South Philly's Finest will be on the card as always. They are the only people right now that have been with us since day one, 10 years. We're on the first show, and they're still with us 10 years in.
Guys. I met them. They're nice guys.
Yep, Sam Adams. We have Wrecking Ball Legursky is back. You saw Wrecking Ball at the anniversary at the 100 show, correct?
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yep.
He was awesome.
Fans love him. They love him. Yeah, they love him. Bushwhacker Luke is one of our guests, and he will be in action. Probably a 6-man tag. He's going to wrestle.
Oh, jeez.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah. So he will be in action. Who else do we have there? Chris Slade, Brando Lee, Tom Mitchell, Killian McMurphy will be there. Sam Adams, the Brothers Gray. We got a bunch of people that'll still be there. Our No Limits champion, Lucius Crow. I couldn't think of his belt. He'll be there. Andy Header, Steve-O, the whole gang there in the No Limits division. Phil Insane. So it should be a good card. A lot of guys.
I've been talking to some of the wrestlers like on Instagram, and I was like, if you're gonna be there, if you're not busy before the show, we could talk and stuff like that. And they're like, all like, yeah, we'll talk. And I'm like, all right. Lucius Crowe has been banging on the Dudes at Ringside door for months. So Lucius, you ever want to join me on the Dudes at Ringside? The door's always open and the light's always
messaged
on.
me 2 seconds ago. He
Yeah.
just messaged me 2 seconds ago. He's looking for he wants the PPW logo. I said, I have to get it for you. I'm on the podcast right now. So I'll let him know that. Send him a message. He'll come on. Trust me. You don't have to twist his arm. He'll be on.
He's been asking
Anytime
me
you
for
need him,
months.
he'll be on to talk about his film.
He's been talking to me.
Yeah,
He's been like,
he'll be
come on, Joe. Like, okay. You don't have to twist my arm if you do outcry.
Come on.
He's bigger than me. And we're same height. We're the same height. So he would just have
We're
to just
the same height. He's just
yeah. Not the same height as me. So yeah. Paul, in closing, is if there's any young wanting to be wrestlers, that want to be wrestlers that are watching the podcast tonight. They're like 19 or 18 that really want to get into the business and they don't know what to do. What kind of advice would you tell them?
Well, the first thing is, I tell guys this all the time. Come to the shows, introduce yourself, help out, pick up a chair, set up the ring. I'll tell you a quick story about two guys, the main event. Okay, they're on MLW now. They're doing great for themselves. Great guys. They came from House of Glory, and they were just out of training, and they came with a couple of workers brought them in, introduced them, and we had no room on our roster, zero. And they came, they set the ring up, they helped clean up, they did whatever they had to do. They worked for free, to get their foot in the door. And they became our tag team champs. They were on our Impact pay-per-view. They just did really well for themselves. And they came from just getting out of wrestling school. And they helped. They lifted a finger. They helped. And that's the way they got on. And now they got they're signed to MLW, which is great for them. And we kind of lost contact with them a little bit because they're on the road. They're doing a lot of different shows. But I love those guys, and I'm thrilled for them. Hopefully someday we could get them back here when we're running. But that's the main goal. That's the main goal for them. Just for a young guy, come in, show respect, pick up a chair, do whatever you have to do, hang flyers, whatever, seat people. Lucius Crowe started off as a manager. He started off videotaping our shows. He was our video guy years ago. Then he was managing. Yeah, then he managed a guy. And then he started training to wrestle, So, but a lot of guys came. But Tom Mitchell was our backstage announcer. He was our backstage. He does what Sabrina does now for us. He was the backstage interviewer, and he's just an athletic kid. He got trained and wanted to be a wrestler. And, he's only about a little over a year in, 25 years old, but, just doing so well for himself, in the ring. And, it's nice when you could put somebody like that in a ring with whoever, a name or a veteran that's in there, and you wouldn't even notice. They don't miss a beat. You know what I mean? So that's, what we like to see. And like I said, our girls division, I think is top notch. We have really, really good and athletic girls. And we're trying to build our other divisions up, and I think we did a pretty good job at it, having everybody on the same, level mostly.
That's always good. So, before we go, Paul, if any of my fans from like the New York, New Jersey, and some parts of the Pennsylvania would like to come to the anniversary show, where can they get their tickets?
PPWwrestling.com /shop if you want to get right to the shop, but ppwwrestling.com will get you to the site. Click on the shop. Tickets are there. There's not many front row 6 tickets left. There's probably a handful. I'm going to say maybe 5 or 6, if that. We've been selling tickets every day. That's why I told you guys said you were coming. I knew we were going to be flooded the first day with tickets. And we had 50 some orders the first day. Just the people just flooding us. tickets. A couple of people wanted to see a diagram, and I'm like, I can't even update it quick enough. It was that quick with tickets going. But we expect a big crowd. Should be a good show. And if you live out of state and you can't get there, it'll be online. You can buy it online. But we encourage everybody to come out. There's nothing like being there in the stands to watch it. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I know firsthand. Ringside crew. If you live in Pennsylvania and you have nothing to do on Saturday night at the 9th at 8 o'clock, get your butts to Slatington, Pennsylvania. Come early. You may bump into a
7 o'clock. If you come in late, you're going to be late.
Yeah, before 8. Come early.
Joe, you got to come at 7.
Come at 7.
You got to come at 7. The show starts at 7. You'll be an hour late.
Come earlier. Get a nice. Yeah, come and hang out with Joe and Balor Club guy, and actually come hang out with us. We'll probably be doing a live in the hallway with me and Balor Club guy in the hallway doing a prediction show on Instagram.
Yeah, do something out by the bar there where the tables are, and you can interview some of the fans and put it on your show or whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
you got free reign. We'll give you our permission.
Yes, thank you so much. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for opening PPW Anniversary, Paul. You are so awesome, man. I would love to have you come back on in a future episode, and you never know. You may see these red glasses backstage someday interviewing some wrestlers getting choked out. You never know. Because Sabrina's there. Why not the Panther? All right. This is Joe Panther III, and... Your turn.
I'm Paul Bowl. Don't forget, September 9th, tickets are on sale right now, ppwwrestling.com.
And we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody. See you on Saturday.